Welcome back. Paul Mulvihill murdered his former lover Rochelle Yeo with a kitchen knife in her Sydney apartment. That night he returned to his hotel room hoping nobody had seen him. But the next morning, as he tried to fly home to his wife and family on the Gold Coast, he realised police were looking for him. What he did next was as calculated as it was cowardly. Paul Mulvihill is showing no signs of panic, and there's every indication he's doing his best to escape. He drives to Sydney Airport and books a flight to Brisbane, then helps himself to breakfast at the Qantas Club buffet. He's got an appetite.
Absolutely. If he skirmished with blood, and it would have been quite an amount of blood, given the fact of the jugular vein being severed, it hasn't affected him, hasn't affected his appetite.
Morning, Carl. Morning, Lisa, and a very good morning to you. We begin in Sydney, where a manhunt is underway after a woman was found dead inside a unit.
By now, Rochelle Yeo's murder is all over the media. And knowing police are on the lookout for him, Mulvihill decides not to catch the flight. He leaves the airport and hires a car.
So that's planning, that's not panic. It's calculated.
This is the mind of
Yeah, a calculating killer.
Sociopath.
Exactly, absolutely. Yeah, he's confident about it. No two ways about it.
Now Mulvihill drives to Newcastle, using a mate's credit card details to book a flight to Brisbane under a different name. CCTV cameras at Newcastle Airport capture him repeatedly pacing in and out of the terminal. He seems to be in the clear, but when he lands in Brisbane, his luck runs out. The police are waiting.
I was going home. I assumed the police would probably be there because I knew they were looking for a 44-year-old man. But I just wanted to get home and see Teresa and the kids. Even if I was to be arrested at home, I'd at least see them and let them know what happened.
Paul Mulvihill was charged with the murder of Rochelle Yeo. It took the jury less than 2 hours to find him guilty. For Mulvihill's wife, Teresa, it's going to take much longer. Do you believe Paul murdered Rochelle?
He went there to intimidate her, to try and convince her. Well, this is what I think, but looking at all the evidence now, he obviously had more than just trying to get her to, like him again. I don't know,
Is it hard to say Paul is a murderer?
Absolutely.
You can't say that?
No, I can't say it.
It's clear Teresa is still torn about the man with whom she shared so much, yet knew so little. When police came to see her after the murder, she told them about finding the tag for the hoodie in Paul's bag, but didn't mention the white plastic chain that was later discovered at the crime scene, covered in Rochelle's blood. You lied to the police about the chain?
Yeah. I had a phone call with Paul the morning that I was making that statement, and I'd said they're going to ask me about the chain. What should I say? And he said, look, it would be really nice if you just said you haven't seen it.
And did you ask him why?
I didn't really ask him why, but I knew he just didn't want that part to come out because then they would question why he took it there. But when they told me it had the blood on it, I don't know, I just sort of, I feel, through this whole thing, I am really torn between still doing what Paul wants me to do, and that's where I say, I think it's my issue that for 16 years I've just kept the peace, and
And you're still doing it?
I'm still doing it, and even doing this interview, I know that he's going to be really mad. And
So he's still controlling you?
yeah, I think he will control me for the rest of my life.
Paul Darren Mulvihill, on the charge of murder, I sentence you to a term of imprisonment of 29 years, comprised of a non-parole period of 22 years.
Mulvihill was sentenced to 29 years jail for the murder of Rochelle.
In light of what I consider to be the offender's continuing lack of insight into or acceptance for the extreme and ultimately fatal violence he perpetrated upon Miss Yeo, it is very difficult to make any reasoned assessment into his prospects of rehabilitation, but I am quite unable to accept that they are good.
Our legal system, our justice system, if you like, has done its job, and we believe it's done it well.
We'll miss Rochelle Sarah Yeo forever, every second of every day.
It is perhaps some small comfort to Rochelle's grieving family that their daughter's killer will spend much of the rest of his life behind bars. But for the other family he shattered, his own, Paul Mulvihill's shadow still looms large. When Paul comes out of jail, will you be frightened?
I'm frightened now because me saying all this is going to make it worse.
Do you worry about your own life?
It potentially could have been me. This whole situation could have been, the shoe could have been on the other foot.
It seems that it's very possible you didn't know the man you married.
I didn't know him at all, but I thought I did. It's scary that you think you know someone and you don't. It's very scary.